It's quite a good... It's a good job I'm not a butcher. You've not got the minerals. That is what my foot's just gone in. Come on, John, let's crack on.
The light is fading fast. From this old town we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me.
Welcome to the channel and welcome to the first video. There's no better place to really start than the Lake District. You'll know from the title of the video exactly what we're doing today, but I've just parked in a lay-by off the side of the road just outside of Grasmere, and the bonus to that, it's free, and we all love a freebie, don't we? It's 4 Wainwrights. The first one we'll summit is Steel Fell, which at the minute looks a little bit clagged in, but it looks like it's passing over. Then on to Helm Crag, then Gibson Knott, and then finishing off at Helm Crag, where I will show you the lion and the lamb. If you're thinking to yourself, what's the lion and the lamb? Don't worry, we'll save it for later. Save that for another day. Oh man, we've not even got anywhere yet, and I'm already sweating my knackers off. Don't worry, at some point today we will get somewhere. Finally, feel a hell of a lot better now. Just took my coat off, or my fleece off, and it started spitting. You go that way, takes you up the side of the hill, more or less into the middle of Helm Crag and Gibson Knott. We're going to take this one. Steel Fell's actually the highest one out all of the Wainwrights we're doing today, so we'll get that one ticked off, and then it's downhill from there. Well, I say downhill, but there's lots of up and down bits, so we lose some elevation, we gain some, we'll lose some, we'll gain some, but we'll be losing a lot more than what we gain after we've been up Steel Fell. If you do take that path down there, right below the bridge there is a cracking little wild swimming spot. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not bouncing about down there in my underpants. Not today. The drive here, I kid you not, we went through every single type of weather you could think of. Looking around really, there's still a bit of low cloud. Steel Fell is one of them that has about 4 fake summits. I mean, you get over the hill, there's another hill. Over that hill, there's another hill. It just seems like it's never ending. Jesus Christ, we're a bit of a vicious gate, that. On you go. It's a good job I'm not a butcher. Alright, John, don't get too close to that edge. It's just absolutely riddled with sheep shit around here. Obviously it's going to be, isn't it? You know what I mean? Can't just turn around and be like, you lot get off this land while I do this hike and take your shit with you. It's just not going to work, is it? You'd look like a bit of a nut job and all. And that ridgeline, what will be coming over towards the end, it's a pretty epic one. You got Calf Crag in the corner, Gibson Knott midway, and finishing off there at Helm Crag. So we've just come up from down there. Hey, and still it goes on. And look at the low cloud just blowing across. It's a shame really, because right over there to the right hand side of us, we've got the Helvellyn mountain range almost completely clagged in. But it adds to the adventure, doesn't it, I suppose. We're literally in the cloud. It's quite nice though, to be fair. Nice and cool, and the moisture from the clouds. You can see there though, up there, the sun breaking through, bit of blue sky. It's just making its way over. So that ridge, what will be coming back down with Gibson Knott and Helm Crag, completely lost sight of it. All around. Look at it there. Just as we're getting to the summit of Steel Fell, the rain's picking up a bit, but I'm trying to hold off with the waterproof, but I think if it gets any worse, we're going to have a little pit stop and a change. So here we go, we've made it. Summit of Steel Fell. Normally over there you'd see Thirlmere Lake, over there the Helvellyn mountain range, but because this cloud's blown in, we're not really seeing much, are we? I mean, if you can make that out on the camera, the layers there through the cloud, that is epic. But yeah, look how fast the cloud's moving. So anyway, the first Wainwright out the four, Steel Fell, is in the bag. There we go, the shot of Thirlmere Reservoir in the background. I hope to God you can make that rainbow out. Oh, these really are, man, the best days for hiking, honestly, when the weather conditions are just so, I'm going to lose my hat, when the weather conditions are just so here, there and everywhere. We've got sun and a rainbow over there. We're clagged in over that way. We've got the sun there just breaking through underneath that low cloud. This is what we live for. This is what we live for. And you know, I'm partial, me. Really am partial to a bit of rain and, you know, a bit of wind and that. It don't really bother me. You know, you're out and about, that's what it's about. Taking in all the different kinds of weather. And today so far we've only done the first Wainwright and we've already more or less experienced them all, so let's crack on. Come on John, let's crack on. It always happens that though, oh, bit of bog there, it always happens that wherever I seem to go in the lakes, it's like this. You look out to all the surrounding areas and the sunshine, the clouds broke, but you take the good with the bad, man. This is still already turning out to be a real good day. So we have got to be prepared as well and just admit defeat really to the bog, because there's going to be an awful lot of it. I mean, just look at it here. Hey! Oh, the things we do, man. Looks nice and aesthetic, doesn't it? You know, when you're walking off. People always forget I've got to run back for the bloody thing. It's about to get real interesting. Just gotta kind of go for it. Why am I'm just kind of stood here like. See, that bit there looks a lot narrower, but oh, do you know what? We stand here. Oh my god, that is absolute. We do not want to be putting our foot in that. I think I'm just going to go for it. Oh! We'll live to see another day. Just heard one of those jets in the distance. You wouldn't fly in that, would you? Well, I don't know. Typical. I have been contemplating for about the last 20 minutes. Do I get the waterproofs out? Do I? Don't I? And I thought, do you know what? Let's just embrace the great British weather. Don't worry, I've not forgot you. Never leave a man behind. The good news is that the cloud is completely scarpered off now. You've just got the odd draggy bits that are just taking the time coming along, but it's all blown over now towards the Helvellyn mountain range and that way. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that is quite a good. Nearly went on my arse then. Yeah, the cloud. Anyway, is that what we're on about? Yeah, there's just a few, if you can see, just a few odd little bits bobbing about. Alright, John. Once again, we're met. Calf Crag is upon us, and that lovely ridgeline. I think more or less getting to a Calf Crag, we're almost halfway round. It's almost, in a way, to be honest, like a little bit of a mini horseshoe. I mean, it's the shape in a roundabout way. I mean, oh, we're not looking too bad. That is what my foot's just gone in. Anyway, back to the surrounding views. Nice bit of sun shining down through the broken cloud. A little tip as well, if you're ever out in the Lake District, the majority of footpaths are more or less marked out with cairns. These Bobby Dazzlers here, they're basically a cairn, but they're just a metal pole. Right, it's finally got to that time, because that to me looks like a rain cloud and it's currently pissing it down. So I'll see you in a minute with the waterproofs on. Well, there we go, waterproofs assembled, and also we've got the waterproof cover on the bag as well. Oh god, that was very, very swampy. Alright, John. it's going to almost either get worse or stay as it has been, because it's more or less just grassy moorland. I suppose it is what it is. Right, trying to direct my way through this. It's like trying to direct your way through a minefield to the conclusion that we're going to get a boggy foot, aren't we? But I was going to say there's poles here, we'll follow the poles. You want to see the state of this pole, of the third pole along here. Oh, boggy, boggy. So look, that's one pole, yeah, about that high. I don't even think you can see it on the camera. We're gonna have to think of a plan now, really. We don't want, I think, maybe going this way. Oh, there we go, there we go. What's that like? Can we get a little step on here? Oh God. It is what it is. But I think we're making progress here now. I'm doing that thing again where I'm like anticipating. Let's just go for it. Ah, there we go. And the path. We'll go on this path. I'm sure last time I did it, I went that path, but listen, this one must meet round to there. Oh, that's what we'll hope anyway. But do you know, when I left home this morning, it were clear skies, and I bet it's still clear skies at home now. Oh, come on, a day out, yeah. Anyway, that's what I was saying about the poles, you see. One, and they just literally mark the paths out for you. I may as well have bought dinghy with us. That would have been a lot easier. Oh, I've just accepted. I've given into nature and I've accepted that now we're just getting boggy feet, aren't we? So this is about as British as it gets. Woohoo! The wind's picked up. It's a windy boy, big boy gusts that keep coming across, but we're nearly at the summit of Helm Crag now. Not long to go at all. Finally, I'm just going to stand here on this bit of stone for a minute. Look at the state. I've never appreciated a piece of stone so much in my life. Bog central. Getting a bit like that Instagram reel, innit? Which way's the path? You can't go on that path. That's not a path, but this is the path. And finally, we survived the boggy moorland between Steelfell and Helm Crag. We now have arrived at Helm Crag, and even though, despite the weather conditions, we've still got 360 views all the way around. Bull scarf there in the background. There it is. Helm Crag. I'll put the height and everything else in the bottom corner like normal. You know the drill. But whoa! It's a long way down there on a much nicer day. But I sat there. Me like that, I sat there. It'd help if I moved the camera with my hand, wouldn't it? Anyway, I sat there and had a nice cuppa, enjoyed the view, which you can still admire now, but so anyway, we're now going to head across the ridgeline towards Gibson Knott. Now on Gibson Knott there is actually two summits. There's, legs are filthy, there is two summits. There's the Wainwright summit and there's also an east summit, which is obviously just east of the fell. So we'll go across, we'll bag both of them, and yeah, as far as it goes. Once more, Helm Crag. Views all around. It ain't half a little rocky number is this one. Rocky outcrop of Helm Crag. I'll tell you what time it is though. Snack time. When you're out hiking, if it's not a pepperami stick, it's got to be a squares bar. And you know, these ones actually, I've never tried them. Cookies and cream flavour. When I went doing the food shop at Aldi, I mean, not that you really need to know that, but they had these middle aisle. The middle aisle is almost, hold on. They have these middle aisle. Whoa. Look at it, man. Toppings and all sorts. Tell you what, I'm that excited for it. Let's give it a bit of a review and a rating. I mean, I was going to do some reviews on this channel, but that were more like of places to stay where you can go and venture out and be around stuff like this, not reviewing squares bars. That's not what I had in mind, but nevertheless, I think, to be honest, that beats a normal one. The normal squares bar are normally my go-to. I don't really like the chocolate ones, but then bits of white chocolate, that is different, man. That really is different. Cookies and cream squares bar. I'm going to give it a rating of 8. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Definitely recommend. While we're actually on the topic of the middle aisle at Aldi, strawberry flavoured Chewits. Now, I mean, they're not exactly the ideal hiking snack, are they? Maybe on a sunny day, yeah, but I mean, when weather conditions are like this, the last thing you want to be doing is unravelling one of them. So I've not seen Chewits for ages. That's what drew me in. Anyway, enough waffling on. It's not a food review channel, is it? You know what I mean? We're out here in nature, surrounded by the fells, and I'm waffling about squares bars and strawberry Chewits. Hey, well, but that middle aisle in Aldi, banging. Well, I'm glad that rain's stopped and now the sun is starting to come out, but I feel like I went full Kenny South Park mode. And then when we hood up, it's always about being prepared. If you come prepared, in my eyes, you can't fail. Now we're just starting to join that ridge line, which will take us to Gibson Knott. Nearly fell over again. Oh my days. Boggy foot. To be fair though, Solomon trail runners, yeah. And this isn't, you know, this isn't a plug for them or anything. I mean, I wish it were and they'd send me endless supply of Solomon trail runners, but 10 out of 10s for me. I've had all sorts of walking boots, trail runners in my time, but no, Solomon's, as you'd say, where I'm from, the dog's bollocks, because they are obviously Gore-Tex, they're waterproof for me and for the foreseeable, until maybe something else comes along. Solomon Trail Runners. Since I parked the car up and we went through the gate across from the Travellers Rest pub, I haven't seen a soul. They've not got the minerals. No, probably because they're not idiotic like I am, but to be fair, weather conditions have been fine. Hello. Well, there you go. We said we'd not seen anybody. Literally, she just come over the top of this hill. As in to be like, hello, I'm here. But I think Steelfell and Calf's Crag, I don't think they're as popular. You know, if you want a short hike up to Helm Crag, look at that, la-di-da, back down. This John boy here looks like he's ready to offer me out for a scrap. He's standing his ground. Bah! Yeah, I don't speak very good sheep, mate, unfortunately. We've just come all the way at the top of along this ridge line, up and down like that, and we've literally now just got to the Wainwright summit of Gibson Knott, which is this. Over there in that direction, in the dip over that hill, you've got Easdale Tarn, Bleer Rig. But yeah, smashing views all around. The true summit is over there where them people are. So, and I said there were no people, didn't I? Honestly, I think I don't know if there's hiking groups out or what, but yeah, I've literally seen probably about 14 people since I last seen that woman. So let's head over now to the summit, the other summit of Gibson Knott. I was going to head over straight to Gibson Knott. So obviously we've just come from the Wainwright summit, which is there, and right here in between there's a fantastic little spot. I just sat down, had a bit of juice, had a little Twix bar, and to be honest with you now, I might muller my way through some of them chewits and just have a minute, because the weather's cleared up, the clouds lifted, the rain stopped, and I might just sit here and admire the view, to be honest with you. Right, got the bag back on, so let's head over to the east summit of Gibson Knott. I'll see you over there. Just like magic, this is the east summit of Gibson Knott. This is the highest point on the fell. You can see down onto the Wainwright summit, but along there, up onto Steel Fell, right the way along the back, and then back down to this point. So now we can see exactly where we're going, which is Helm Crag. But anyway, Gibson Knott, east summit, 3 down, 1 to go. There's a good lesson learned here as well. When it was boggy in that moorland that we went across from Steel Fell to Calf's Crag, now it's dangerous now, because it's wet, it's rained. There are literally rocks that are like that, and it's the path, and you don't take care on that, you slip, and it is good night Vienna. You know what I mean? You're calling it a day there. On we go, not far now as well to see. Look here, like that. It probably doesn't show on the camera how steep it actually is, but it was like that. There wasn't none of this, it was that and that only. Oh, look at Steel Fell now over there. It weren't like that earlier, were it? See, I can get a bit of zoomage going on. There's Steel Fell. There you go, look, nice and sunny. It's typical, innit? But listen, to be fair, the weather did say that it was going to brighten up as it got further on into the afternoon. But me being me, I like getting here early. Helm Crag incoming. This here is the path what will take us down the side of the fell and towards that bridge, and it'll more or less bring us back onto the path where we went right to go straight up to Steel Fell, and there was that path that went down and then to the right. It'll bring us back out on that path. I'll decide when we get up here, because we've got to get up there and come back down to get to that path, so we'll see. Nice little steps someone's put down. Tell you what though, they ain't half a fire burner. So we've just got to the summit of Helm Crag, the fourth and final one of the day, as you can see. The camera probably doesn't do it justice, it's like that. Another name for it is actually the Howitzer, if I'm saying that right, because from a certain angle, and I'm not too sure which angle it is, it actually looks like a lady playing the organs. Another fact though is that it is the only one of the Wainwrights that the main man himself didn't touch the summit of. I'm not trying to dog him out or anything like, but facts are facts. But I suppose if you don't want to go scaling up that, you can just give that one a tap instead. I've been up here before, seen people at the top of it, but put it this way, you see more people stood here than what you do up there. I was tempted, to be honest with you, to give it a whirl. Some of them rocks look mad slippy. So yeah, I don't want to be getting airlifted off Helm Crag. I want to make it back down to the car. Could be a bit of a shit house, I suppose, but it's also called being responsible. Being a responsible adult, you see. And as well, not just that, I'm on my own. So the plan of action now is we'll head over to the Lion and the Lamb. There is a summit of Helm Crag. This is pretty much a straightforward climb, as long as you more or less have 3 points of contact at all times. If we can just perk our little arse here. Oh, we are now basically sat on the Lion's Head. If you can see down there, that's the Lamb. This is the Lion. Interesting, and obviously then over there in the distance, if you can see the rock formation there, that is where we've just been, the summit of Helm Crag. But I tell you what, cracking views. But yeah, we better get down off the Lion's Head before he Starts getting a bit aggy, I think. So I made an executive decision for the channel, the first one. We're gonna now, I've just come back over from the Lion and Lamb, past the summit of Helm Crag, or the Howitzer, and we're gonna now head back down this path to the point where we'll then veer off and we'll go down the side of the fell. There is someone down there, I doubt you can see him. I may come out on this camera, but that's the way we're gonna go. And before I forget, I probably won't forget when I'm down there, I'll also point out that wild swimming spot as well. Very secluded, not really that popular. I've been told it's not that popular, so I'll say that and we'll get down there and there'll be someone doing breaststroke, won't there? But we've now just reached that path, so we've come down, back down from Helm Crag. That is the way we come from Gibson Knott. Now we'll head down this path. We're just basically now zigzagging our way back down. Nice easy path to finish off. It's only just took me till now to realise I'm still bobbing about with my raincoat on and my waterproof cover on my bag. I've just been walking past quite a few people and they're shorts and t-shirts and the waterproofs on, cover on. I bet they thought, what's this guy expecting? They don't know where we've been though, do they? In that first hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's snack time again, and a nice little banana. Good for you, very good for you. Give me a bit more energy as we finish off this hike. Decent. You're going over styles, always give them a check first, because I tell you what, I've stood on some rickety ones in my time. I've fell over some in my time, and honest to God, it ain't nice. And I'll just get this one in here because she's not here. The missus once fell over one on a campsite, but it gets worse in front of 2 people, and it gets even worse than that because she then, you won't believe this, then tried to blame me and the dog. But it was a very, very bad style. You stood on it, and then as you stood on the other side, and as you lifted, so as you went over and stood on it and lifted that foot up, the side where all your weight was on went down. So obviously as a foot on, the other foot's gone to come over, it's not gone all the way over because it's dropped, and she's caught a leg and salmon dive straight over. I mean, the poor couple who were waiting to go over the style, they didn't know, they didn't really know where to look, but she lives to tell the tale, and she was all right. She was, I think her pride was just a little bit hurt, but the best bit for me is when she is when she rolled over onto her back, because she fell face forward, and I mean she fell flat on her face, so she's lucky really that she had no bruises on her face, which was lucky really. And she rolled over onto her back, and she just looked up at me and went and that, because I'd imagine she was winded, because she more or less fell on top of the stile. So, but yeah, she'll kill me for that, but it is a funny moment, and even she finds it funny now, so you've got to laugh, haven't you? Hold on a minute, look at this piece of fine machinery. Does it swing back? Oh. Is it there to prevent it swinging back? I mean, I suppose it holds it in place. Ah, do you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate the thought and effort that has gone into that. Well done, Farmer John, if you're watching. We've just got now to that bridge, what I was on about, and I'm pretty sure that that little spot for wild swimming is just down here. I mean, I'm gonna have to be careful. It's boggy here. Yes, it is. This is it. Let's get down 1 minute. Oh God, it's boggy here though. Check that for a spot, mate. Epic. He's cold. What a spot. This is exactly what you need after a long day on the fells. I mean, look at it. Beautiful. Got a nice view. I'll tell you what though, it's quite deep down there. I lost my footing, almost disappeared, but it's lovely and fresh. There you are. You didn't think I was going to shoot you and not get in. So it is just down there. As you take this path here, what we're on, I'll show you exactly the way to get to it. But come on, what a little spot that is. It's an epic spot. I mean, you do obviously get people crossing over the bridge. Just 1 minute while I'm stupidly trying to figure out that. Yeah, you do get people going over the bridge from time to time, but really they're not really going to see you. It'd be nice on a warm day. I think that's what made me get in, to be honest. The sun was out and now I just feel totally refreshed, totally relaxed. My legs feel brand new. So yeah, if you ever come in this way, check that out. I'll show you the path in a minute. We took that path right there that goes up to Steel Fell. You want to go and check that little wild swimming spot out. Thing is, earlier on I said, you think I'm going for a swim in there and bouncing around in my underpants? Now it turns out I'm bouncing around with no underpants on. I stood there for a minute and I thought, we're having it. Nice and distressed, ready to get back to the normality of life. I'm actually just going to look what the situation is with going home. Alright then, no I won't, because I've got no internet, so I'll have to save that when I get back to the car. Well, I think it's got to that time now where I've run out of things to show you really, and it's quite fitting really, because we've got Steel Fell over there in the background, Gibson Knott, and then of course Helm Crag just overlooking us. It was the Greenburn Round, which in a way, to be fair, is kind of like a little horseshoe. So full Wainwrights, Steel Fell, Calf's Crag, Gibson Knott and Helm Crag, and of course showing you a nice little wild swimming spot that you can check out. If you liked today's video, drop a like, drop us a comment, and it'd mean the absolute world to me, more than you could believe. Even subscribe, and then you can follow along with future adventures. But from me here in the Lake District, what a day it's been, and it's nice and clear now. You take the good with the bad. So anyway guys and girls, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.